Friends, Sandhya this side. How are you all? So now I took a break from Ignou lessons. So friends, आज मैं स्टार्ट करती हूँ MPC 31 का बुकलेट 1 Organizational Psychology Unit 3. I'm just going to run through the major points as to how we are going to go about it. So ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर के बारे में अगर हम जानना चाहते हैं तो फंडामेंटल कंसेप्ट्स इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर, दिस इज़ द चैप्टर, दिस इज़ द यूनिट वी वुड बी डीलिंग इन. So it would be, it's basically the introduction, objectives, nature of people, nature of organization, organizational paradigm shift, organizational outputs, holistic organizational behavior, and then is the gradual, the summing up. So when I talk about the nature of people, so what do you understand by the nature of people? सबसे पहले हम बात करते हैं कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजी क्या है, उसका बिहेवियर क्या है. इस चैप्टर में वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट इट. सेकेंडली जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हमने डील करने हैं वो ये हैं that you explain the fundamental concepts of organizational behavior, 5 basic premise that the field of organizational behavior makes about people, and the 2 key assumptions regarding the nature of organizations. So first we talk about the nature of people. Now what do you understand? Every organization is made up of people, and the different kind of behaviors they define what is the nature, right? So when I talk about the nature of the people, so we have the basic concept of in organizational behavior is nature of organizations, nature of people, and the result, that is the holistic organization behavior. जैसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिहेव करती है उसमें जैसे लोग होते हैं और वो एक रिज़ल्ट होता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. तो जब हम बात करते हैं नेचर ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो हम नेचर ऑफ पीपल हम क्वेश्चन करते हैं वाई सो. देन फील्ड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर स्टार्ट्स विद द सेट ऑफ फंडामेंटल कंसेप्ट्स, नेचर ऑफ पीपल, नेचर ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एंड द रिज़ल्ट. द रिज़ल्ट इज़ द होलिस्टिक वन. देन जो फिगर 1 है दैट बेसिकली फिर अगर आप उस फिगर को देखेंगे तो आप बहुत कुछ रियलाइज़ करेंगे और बहुत कुछ रिलेट कर सकते हैं कि ओवरलैपिंग रिलेशनशिप्स कितनी होती हैं बेसिक कंसेप्ट ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर में. फर्स्ट इज नेचर ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, पीपल वर्किंग इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड द एंड रिजल्ट इज द होल कंसेप्ट ऑफ इट. So when I talk about the holistic organization behavior, interprets the people organization relationships in terms of the whole people, whole person, whole group, whole organization, and the whole social system in order to understand the multiple factors that influence behavior of people at work. So in this unit, we're going to also understand the individual differences. So see, the basic thing is that everybody has a very different kind of a psychology, and in this you have the every person is blessed with the level of analytics articulately summed by Mary and Cockham, wherein they said every man in certain respects like all other men, like all some other men, like all other men. So people have so many things in common. So when we talk about अगर हम बात करते हैं हर व्यक्ति को अच्छा रहना पसंद है, एवरीबडी वॉन्ट्स टू बी अप्रिशिएटेड एंड ऑल लाइकवाइज. देन वी कम ऑन द डिफरेंस क्या होता है, डेट ऑफ बर्थ. हर व्यक्ति यूनिक होता है, एवरी पर्सन इज यूनिक एंड इंडिविजुअल. सो एवरी इंडिविजुअल इन द वर्ल्ड इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम अदर्स. So this fact is supported by the science which says that each person is different from all others, probably in million ways, just as each person's DNA and profile fingerprints are different. So this is called as the law of individual differences. Then we come down to gender differences. Hunter gender differences हो गया, intelligence difference हो गया, gender differences, hunters men, gatherers women. So these are the basic differences. Intelligence differences, caste and education. Personality difference, occupation, job specializations, etc. So basically अगर हम बात करते हैं तो the implication of individual differences at the place of work are manifold. That means there are so many. So personal psychology is the oldest and most traditional activities of the industrial organizational psychologists. And then management would have to simply come up with an across the board way of dealing with employees, and everyone would be satisfied in a productive way. Then we come to differences in perception. Now I hope you understand what is perception. So perception is one's understanding of a particular topic. I can perceive it in one way, you can perceive in a different way. So individual members have different perceptions from the reality of the organization, and each member has limited organizational views or horizons based on factors such as past experience, personalities, need, demographics, factors, biases, positions, hierarchical level. So real organization exists the collective mind of organizational members. So this means that organization वही होती है जो लोगों के दिमाग में रहती है, and this is the way they function, this is what they reflect. So when I talk about the perception, so the active and complex process through which we select or organize and interpret information about the world is perception. And this is, for example, assuming you have applied for a job in an organization, prospective employer tries to make a judgment about it. तो वो किस तरीके से करेंगे, वो आपने किस तरीके से, how you're going to project yourself, how do you perceive a particular job, this is what. So perception basically matters to all these things. Then perception plays a very important role in terms of the organization behavior, because social perception is crucial to the organization. This allows people to make reasonably accurate judgments in other person's state of mind. So socially competent people then use inferences about others. अगर आज हम किसी से मिलते हैं फिर उसके बाद हम अपना एक different opinion बनाते हैं, that is a perception about them. Maybe the other person might differ. In this, you have the important application of social perception for organizational function is defined as, there are like employment interview, performance appraisal. Employment interview अगर हम किसी जॉब लेने जाते हैं तो उसके लिए हमारा perception person to, because they out here communication plays a very important role in terms that verbal, non-verbal, how do we project ourselves, all these are very important factors. And the corporate image, that not only candidates want to make a good impression of the person, the organization also wants to create a good impression about themselves. So it's basically a give and take kind of a perception. Then you talk about the performance appraisal. So what is performance appraisal is formal evaluation of a job performance, and can and another performance appraisal is something आप जब किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बिहेव करते हैं उसमें से बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स होते हैं which play an important role. Then you come on to a second one, that is the whole person. जब हम ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल बिहेवियर पढ़ते हैं, it is very important that we take into consideration the organization that is dealing with the whole person. होल पर्सन के अकेले नॉलेज से कुछ नहीं होता, बहुत सारी चीज़ें होती है. नॉलेज हो गया, स्किल हो गई, एबिलिटी हो गई, ये सारी चीज़ें दे प्ले अ वेरी क्रिटिकल रोल इन वंस हायरिंग एंड हाउ वन इज गोइंग टू डिलीवर इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो पीपल डू नॉट एंटर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन एज ब्लैंक स्लेट्स, प्लेन वैक्स ऑल्सो. आज मैं किसी एक्सपीरियंस के साथ जाती हूँ तो मैं आई एम नॉट गोइंग एज अ ब्लैंक पर्सन. नाउ आई हैव टू मोल्ड माई सेल्फ एंड वॉट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वॉन्ट्स मी टू डू डिपेंडिंग ऑन माई पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस and what is expected out of me. So then, with respect to one's social cultural preferences and values, Khandelwal concluded, it is preposterous to assume that when employees arrive at work, they should leave at the point of entry their cultural baggage and pick up at the end of the workday for use in their non-work life and activities. So people function as total human beings. So employee, you have two set of life which you live. One is your home life and other is a professional life. So everybody has a way, so it's something like work to family and family to work. So there is a recognition that positive outcomes can accrue from participation in both work and family, which can give positive relationships between job satisfaction, life satisfaction, and generally ranging from 0.31 to 44. So when if they have given an example of a woman who is caring about an ailing father at home and also has to leave off for office, and then the daycare center closes, she might get distracted on it and official meetings, so she might watch again and again. So this is basically her concentration in a working life. So the manager treats her like a whole person. He may be able to empathize with her predicament or take necessary corrective measures. So if a whole person is developed, then the benefits extend beyond the organization. So this also has its own impact. So many organizations, like for Google instance, office perks like on site haircuts, video games, so बहुत सारी organizations, और अभी तो remote working हो रही, तो उसके लिए तो बहुत सारी options available. Then you come on to the motivated behavior. Now what do you understand by motivated behavior? All people, all behavior, simply put, all behavior is motivated. Few human activities occur without motivation. Really all conscious behavior, आज हम किसी बच्चे से भी हमने काम करवाना है तो हमें उसको, we have to motivate that child enough to have the work done. So likewise in an organization also you require lots of things to motivate and organize, lots of skills, competencies, your knowledge, everything has to be increased for the employee to be motivated enough to deliver, right? So manager's job is to identify employees' needs and drive and channel their behavior towards the task performance.